Hello there, everyone. TheAndrata here, and welcome back to episode 108 of our Enigmatica 6 Expert Let's Play series, where today we're talking about our super buku crazy experience, essence farmer and everything. It's ridiculous. And hey, how you doing there, buddy? Having a good day? You just want to say hi to everybody? Don't know who you are, but hey. And then we're talking about automating our sequenced assembly with Create in XNet and having some fun with that. So let's get started. Welcome back, my friends, to another wonderful night here in the world of TheAndrata, where we just loaded into the world and I need to go ahead and turn on my map because, you know, we need the thing on so we can see what's going on around us. Where today we are going to continue working with our spawner setup and everything. So last episode we left off with us being able to gain buku amounts of experience, and it's pretty dang ridiculous if I do say so myself. We're sitting at 41,000 buckets of essence. That's a lot. I'm not going to complain about how much essence we have. It is a lot. So in between episodes, I was messing around with it, tweaking things and everything, and I did go ahead and change our spawner here to a Vindicator spawner. If you remember at the beginning of the episode, it was spawning big magma slimes, and then it just stopped. No more big magma slimes would spawn. Didn't matter how many times I 256x'd it. I thought maybe because we had the create link on the side, it was saying there's not enough room or something like that, but it refused to spawn the big magma slimes. I even bumped the spawn range back up to 4 to see if that was the reason why it stopped, because it was too small of a range for them. But no, it works. And now I get Vindicators sometimes spawning on my little platform here, but that's neither here nor there. You know what? I can probably fix that by doing something like that. Or, you know what? Can't you put, what if I put like a button? I know that stops shulkers. Does that stop other mobs too? Like they can't spawn here because there's buttons on here. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, anyway, so didn't work. And then you're going to also notice this giant water mess that I have going on here. Why do I have this here? Well, entities keep spawning on top of the spawner, and I did set up the vortex plates, not cortex, vortex plates. Where are they? There they are. Vector plates. I'm sorry. I put these on there, but for some reason, the vector plate goes on upside down on here. If I place one like here, if I place one adjacent to it, look, it faces the correct direction, but this one's upside down, and so mobs are spawning on it and they're not doing anything. I have a feeling it's the spawner agitator that's causing it, but I don't know how to get it off of there, for one, and I don't want to break my spawner, so I just left it there, and I just put water, which pushes them off. It works fine, unless one spawns like directly in the center. Sometimes it gets a little bit funky or something, but yeah, for the most part, they fall off and then they get sucked in. And then once they touch the portal block down there, they get teleported. It doesn't affect the teleporting at all or anything. So we're doing pretty good. Yeah, so if we go ahead and pop downstairs, this is our new room that we're going to be setting up here momentarily. And then this is our spawner area. So same as it was before, but like, watch this. When I tick accelerate our spawner, so if I were to throw a 256X on here, look at the essence come in here. It's like hundreds of buckets coming in, and it is fantastic to watch. I kind of want to like pick up some of it and just see how much I get. Now, keep in mind, our experience isn't going up a lot because we're at 163 levels. This is a ton of experience we are getting right now. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. It's hilarious looking at all this looking at all the experience. Look, we're almost capped out on here because I 256x'd it, and it can't drain fast enough. Literally can't drain fast enough. So anyway, if we turn around, we're going to have a very similar setup here where we have a 3x3 room going on, and we're going to set up something similar because we need to get our witch spawner set up. I want to get my my Wixie shards automated because I'm getting tired of having to, well, I want iron crafters really, and in order to get the neural processors, you have to have Wixie charms. Now granted, it does make 3, but we are running out of Wixie charms. I don't know how many I have left, 10 or so. Yeah, and we're just slowly running out, and I don't have a renewable resource, so I want to go ahead and get a witch set up. So we're going to do very similar, just exactly as we did. Oh, goodness gracious. Thank you, sir. Do not spawn here. Thank you. Have a great day. What did I do in the other room? I think I did something like that. That zombie actually scared me. Jeez. I know I'm not going to take damage from him or anything, but, you know, he just showed up out of nowhere, and he's just like, hey, bruh, what's up? Okay, there we go. Let's do that. And hopefully that stops things from being able to spawn here. I don't know. I don't know if that works that way. We'll find out. Anyway, so we're going to set up another very similar setup. In my backpack, I have all the things we're going to need for that. So we're going to set up a nice giant portal. We're going to put our witches here. They're going to spawn, fall down, and then they're going to end up teleporting into this center block here, where we are going to set up a enchanted spell turret to cast a spell in there. Once we get a certain amount of entities with our sensor, we'll measure this and say when there's like 10 witches in there, we'll go ahead and fire off our spell. And I have the idea for the spell. This is not it. The idea for the spell came from Nurik Sakura as a YouTube comment and everything for how we could get this done. Fairly simple. And yeah, get the shards going. I like it. I love it. So anyway, we're going to get this set up. Before we do so, though, I do have some things that we need to talk about that I worked on in between episodes, automation-wise. So I was working on, what was I making? Oops, that's not what y'all want to see. I was working on making, what was I was automating something. I needed, the advanced, the tanks. I want to be able to craft these and start working on replacing our stuff downstairs, because I've done a few. So we have our pink slime. I also added one for honey that is coming off of our bee thing, and we've already got 76 buckets. And that produces honey pretty quickly. And then obviously our essence is sitting at 48,000. It's a ridiculous amount of essence, and it's not even enough, honestly. From what I understand, we can set up what's called the Gaia reactor. So instead of having to fight the Gaia Guardian to get Gaia shards or whatever they're called, Gaia spirits, we can set up the Gaia reactor, but it takes tons of experience to be able to produce Gaia spirits for us. Or maybe it produces ingots. I don't know. But either way, some way we get Gaia stuff, we can automate Gaia, right? Right. But it takes tons of experience. So we're going to need to look out for that. And honestly, our Vindicator spawner, from what I understand, isn't going to be enough. The ideal spawner setup that you have is in the world, there are what's called foundries. I don't know what mod it comes from, but they're underground foundries that you can explore, and inside of there are piglin brutes that spawn with netherite armor. It is supposed to be fantastic for experience gathering, because the netherite armor with fortune is ridiculous. You get tons of experience for that, and it's also good for blood magic when we get into there. Though from what I understand, parrots are the best for blood magic. A little parrot gets you the most life essence. It's a little weird, but it is what it is. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so in between episodes, I was working on getting ourselves the advanced black hole tanks automated, right? And in order to make these, we need all of these things. Now, this stuff is fairly easy. Plastic is a pain because the only way to make it is in a blast furnace. So what I did was take a look in my book here, my engineer's manual, and I was like, how do I make a blast furnace? How do I automate the blast furnace? Because I don't know. I don't know if there's any simple way to do it. And there actually is. The blast furnace is very simple to automate. If I can find where it is now. Construction. This is not my favorite book in the world. Overview. Blast furnace. So we have the crude blast furnace. That's what we had made before. This just use blast bricks, 9 of them. But if we take a look at our improved blast furnace, it is just blast bricks plus steel plates equals a reinforced blast brick. We've already made these before. And we just, 9 of those plus a hopper turns into an improved blast furnace. I don't know why I never looked into it and making it better. But yeah, so I did that. I did 9 of them and set up reinforced bricks with a hopper on the top, and that gets us our improved blast furnace. And then with the improved blast furnace, you have the ability to hook up what is called preheaters. That's these things. And again, it's extremely simple to make these. They're not expensive at all. So I set up 2 preheaters on the sides of it. And what these do is it makes it so that it runs faster. It does its thing faster. So we have power being pulled from a entangled block going into the top of these because it uses RF to keep these preheaters going. And they keep this thing running. And then what we have in here is 2 entangled barrels. This barrel is used to keep coal coke in stock inside of here at all times because you still need coal coke to operate this bad boy. And then we have our input barrel for any of our recipes, such as plastic. Now, I'm probably going to set plastic to like detect and automate to keep plastic in stock. But if I say I want 64 of these, it's going to go ahead and start dumping dry rubber in here. And remember, we have dry rubber automated. It's going to go ahead, produce dry rubber. It's going to do the thing, and then it gets extracted out here into the front, which is a entangled barrel, which is also on the back here because this also produces slag as a byproduct. And so it pushes the slag and the plastic out into the system. So we have slag being produced and we have plastic. There's not really many things that use the blast heater. I think the only recipe there were 2 recipes I taught to this, I think, because we're enriching for our pink slimes, and yeah, the smoldering lapis and plastic production. That's literally the only 2 things that use the blast furnace. What I would love to be able to automate is the alloy kiln here, because it is used for a lot more recipes, but no go. We can't automate the alloy kiln. The only way to get automations for these recipes is to set up a arc furnace, and we haven't unlocked heavy machinery yet, so we can't do an arc furnace. I don't believe. Medium. Yeah, so it's the heavy schematics, right? Yeah, that's where our arc furnace comes from. So we can't do anything with that, unfortunately. But hey, we'll get there eventually. I'll just have to keep manually making my modules as needed. I haven't had to make any for a while, so we're doing pretty good module-wise. But yeah. So that's our improved blast furnace. Highly recommend setting this up. Don't know why I didn't before. I guess I just didn't realize how simple it actually was to create this thing. I thought it was going to be some kind of crazy setup or something. And then lastly, the only other thing that we're going to go over today for our black hole tank is the production of stuff. What was I doing? I needed to make a pneumatic helmet. The PCB. The PCB. You're going to notice the PCB is gone off of our to-do list because I went ahead and crafted myself a PCB because I kept running out of compressed iron and I got tired of it. So I made the PCB, set it up in our thing, and the recipe for the PCB required me to be able to make a pneumatic helmet. So we take a look at our system, pneumatic helmet, taught to the system. How did we do this? Because in order to make the pneumatic helmet, you have to craft, this unpacked or the helmet assembly package, which requires a compressed iron helmet. And compressed iron helmets are a sequenced assembly process. So I was tinkering around to see how in the world we can automate this, looking in the Discord for the Enigmatica 6 Discord, and I found, first I found these things, right? These industrial comparator switches. Okay, so industrial comparator switches, I got this idea from the Enigmatica 6 Discord, the Enigmatica Discord and the Enigmatica 6 Expert channel, and this came from member Doom Squirter. Yeah, interesting name, but hey, you know what? It works. But what these do, these are a comparator switch, and they have little gauges that you can adjust to determine what you want to do with this inventory and everything. So if we shift right click this, we're going to see. There we go. So we can see exactly what we're working with here. And what you want to do is, this is looking at this inventory inside of this. And I wish there was a way to make that thing stay open longer. Anyway, long story short, what you want to do is set it exactly as I have it there. On level 2, off level 1, a power of 15, and then you want it to be monitoring the free inventory slots. So basically, if this does not have anything in its inventory, it turns the deployer off. Notice how they're not bouncing up and down or anything. They are turned off. As soon as something shows up in their inventory, it will turn on automatically. So we can demonstrate that if I grab just anything out of our system here, and I go ahead and put this, no, not like that. Yeah, look, there it goes. Inventory slot, do the thing. Something like that. Okay, whatever. Anyway, it works. It works perfect. Bam. So these control our turning on of our deployers, and it works fantastically. So what I have is our deployer set up here. I did have to extend this line and rearrange our Godforge blocking system a little bit here. Not terribly too much. Looks like we're jammed up here, though. What's going on? Where did I jam up? Or are you not working? Did I break you? I broke you. Yeah, I broke you. I need to get a shaft here real quick. Okay. I didn't realize when I shifted everything over, I broke that setup, but we can do that, and now it'll start working again. Perfect. Okay. Cool. So I just had to rearrange this. Anyway, so extended this down and added 4 mechanical presses because one of the recipes requires 4 mechanical presses for sequence deploying. So we have 4 of them overall down here. And what we have is XNet controlling everything. So we have a XNet controller here set up with an entangled block going there. And then on the back of each of our deployers is a connector. And then we have our input chest, our catalyst input is what I'm calling it. So that is catalyst input here. And it looks like these lost their names. Anyway, catalyst input, and then we have deployer 1, deployer 2, deployer 3, all the way down to deployer 6. And then the presses don't need anything. We have our crafting input barrel. And then we have our connector itself. So the way that this works is inside of our controller, we just have 2 basic channels. It's really actually wasn't complicated. I was scratching my head. I'm like, how are we going to do this and everything? But filtering with XNet makes it super duper simple, like absolutely no issues here. So what we have is a crafter sitting at home that points into this barrel. And when I request something, it dumps the items into said barrel. And we're actually going to go through and do one of these crafts here real quick so I can show you guys exactly how to configure yours so you can go ahead and, copy along with me. So precision mechanisms, right? I don't have this taught, but it is a assembly craft. Sequence assembly, cogwheel, iron nugget. Perfect. And a gold plate. So let's go ahead and not do that, but we're going to do it in this one. We're going to say, okay, we're going to make all of this stuff. Gold plate, cogwheel, large cogwheel, iron nugget. Keeping in mind that this says that it needs to run through 5 times. So we actually need 5 of each of these materials, right? So we're going to go ahead and change these to 5. Change this to 5. And change this to 5. So it's 1 gold plate gets all of those. Bam. Okay. So that is our basic setup. Now, cogwheels and stuff, these also can be sequenced crafted if we wanted to. Runs through 12 times. However, this requires a saw, which is, as far as I know, not the easiest thing to actually automate the processing of these. So we will probably go this route. I have tons of wood, like tons of wood. I have no issue with wood. So making buttons, sure, is it a waste of a plank? Yeah, but like, is it really? It really doesn't make too much of a difference. I have so many of them, it doesn't hurt at all. And then large cogwheels are the exact same. So we're just gonna go ahead and throw these down in our iron crafter, which is somewhere here. Bam, and then now we have everything we need automated or taught to the system at least. So if we pop back home, I need to actually add our precision mechanism to our crafter here. Come on. So we're just looking through. We're trying to find the create assembler. Where are you at, buddy? There we go. Create assembly. So if I throw this in here, bam, now the system knows how to make precision mechanisms. So we pop over to our factory and I request them. So let's just request 1. So this is how I did my setup for this, okay? So I requested 1, which is going to go ahead and put the items that we need inside of our chest. But they're not going to go anywhere because XNet doesn't know what to do with them yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these. Doesn't matter. Just we need to remember which one is our catalyst and which one is our processing materials right here, okay? And before we even do any of that, we're going to grab our filter off of this and change that back. And we're going to make sure that precision mechanisms are added. So you want to make sure you have your item added to this. So that way it can pull the item off of the conveyor belts. And then this barrel is entangled like all of our other stuff that we have in the system. Okay. So we're going to go into XNet here. We have two channels. We have an item channel set to 1 and an item set to 8. And this is called catalyst extract, and this is called material extract. Okay. So from our barrel, which is our craft input barrel, that's this guy here, we have an extraction set up. It's set to extract stacks. It is not an advanced, so it just does every 10 ticks, it will operate and it extracts. And then up on our deployers, we have inserts, depending on which deployer we need to insert into. And this is where the filtering happens. This is where the magic happens. So what you want to do is take a look at your precision mechanism and you want to say, okay, step 3 is to insert our iron nuggets. So that is going to be deployer number 3. It is important to make sure you put the item in the correct deployer. I looked through the recipes. Doesn't seem to be any recipes that put, like for example, there are 2 recipes that use dielectric paste. Both of them, though, put the dielectric paste into deployer 2. I didn't see any issues where dielectric paste has to go in deployer 1 for one recipe and then deployer 2 for another recipe, because that would completely gum up this system. And I thank the Enigmatica 6 developers for setting this up this way and making it a little bit easier for you. But anyway, so deployer 3, what we want to do is say, okay, you're going to get iron nuggets. And if we go ahead, throw these in there, it's going to go ahead and extract them and throw them into deployer number 3 for us. And we're going to do the same thing here with our large cogwheels. Large cogwheels go into deployer number 2. So we're going to do number 2, bam, put them in, and then they should end up in deployer number 2. And same thing with our regular cogwheels, bam. Okay. So that takes care of all our materials. Our materials are now ready to go. It's going to do the thing. So now we just have to do our catalyst. So that is going to be our last channel here. Same thing, extract from our craft input channel, and then you are going to input into our catalyst input barrel, which is that guy over there. And remember, we have this fancy little setup here that when the item flows down, it hits this chest, it will move back into this barrel because they're entangled, and then, loopy, loopy, loop. So we're going to go ahead and insert on here and then put this in here, and it's going to go do the thing. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. And it's just going to loop through, do the thing. And now they're empty and they're going to shut off. It went into there and it completed the craft. It's all done. And if we go back home, we will see craft is complete. We have an extra precision mechanism. So now if I wanted to say I want to craft 64 of these, apparently, oh yeah, my clockwork bee makes cogwheels, doesn't it? We can go ahead and, yep. We can craft 64 of these just like that, and it will not jam up the system. It's just going to keep going. It works perfectly. It puts one set in at a time as it needs, as it can. Bam. Moves everything around. Super satisfying. Everything runs through. It knows what step everything is at, because these will only apply when they need to for that step. So it's just going to go through, and we're going to be getting precision mechanisms that'll eventually show up. One just did, and they're going to dump into our system as everything goes. And it works like extremely well. I'm actually really happy with how this works. Even for recipes that require compacting, as you can see, it doesn't compact unless it knows that it needs to compact. Create is super smart in the fact that it's not going to try and press something that it doesn't, that can't be pressed. So yeah, great setup. I think I like it. It works fantastic. No issues with it so far. And yeah, and it's one assembly line, all with XNet, and you don't have to have multiple assembly lines and everything. I think there's only like one recipe or something that kind of conflicts with this, but I didn't notice anything. I went through and I was like, okay, what do we need to learn through this? And basically that's about it. The only other thing that we might want to teach it is like coke bricks, if we need them, and then like blast bricks, I guess. If we need these, I don't know what all we're going to need them for, but we can teach the system how to make them. And then that way, if we ever need them, we have them. But yeah, works great. Anyway, well, that's about all the time that we have for this episode. So I guess we're going to end up cutting it short here or stopping here. Y'all got a 50-minute episode yesterday, okay? So you can't complain about maybe a slightly shorter but on-time episode today. Next episode, we are going to come back and we're going to set up our Wixie spawner. I already have everything all prepped and ready to go over there in our Wither Milkers area, and I should probably just rename that to our mob spawner area, because that has been converted over to our mob tower. Anything mob related is happening in there. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it, and it really does help out the channel. Like I said, next episode we'll come back. We're going to set up our Wixie spawner so we can get Wixie shards going, so then we can start getting iron crafters, gold crafters, whatever crafters we really want to. The Wixie shards is the bottleneck for that. And then we're going to be able to start moving on into some more magic, maybe working towards our Gaia spirit, some more tech. We're getting to the point. Let's just open up our quest book real quick. Tech wise, we're like getting to the point where we're gonna be starting to set up nuclear reactors and stuff. We need to get some more little minor things automated, but we're actually doing fairly well, I say. And then magic, I really just need to get my blood altars set up. I'm going to set up 2 blood altars, so that's going to be our next priority, is this. And then yeah, all right.